Welcome to Mocktails Masterpieces with the Indianapolis Chamber Orchestra. Good evening and welcome to Mocktails Masterpieces. I'm Dana Stone, the Executive Director of the Indianapolis Chamber Orchestra, and I'm here today with a very special guest as ICO is launching a new creative sponsorship. We are working with Tanía Wineglass in a really exciting way to kind of showcase visual art and music together. So this creative partnership is, I think, pretty innovative, and I don't know that it exists in any other arts organization. But we'd like to get to know Tanía just a little bit. If you'd like to talk about yourself and how you've become established here in the art community in Indianapolis.
Hi, how are you? Glad to be here. So again, my name is Tanía Michelle Wineglass. I am a full-time artist currently, but I taught art for 25 years here in the city. 15 at Ben Davis High School and 10 at Charles Tinley Accelerated School. I have a master's in ceramics and painting, but I do everything. Like if you can think of it, I pretty much do it. I sew, quilting, um, metalworking, jewelry, glass blowing, all that stuff. Just I don't know. I've just always been a very curious person. And so I'm like, ooh, I wonder what that would be like to do that. I wonder what it would be like to do that. And I used to wonder early on, it's like, wow, why do I know how to do all these things? But now the work that I'm doing ends up bringing all these different things together in the work that I'm creating. Um, that's the small and dirty of everything. But let's see, as an artist, probably I started finding my direction just before I went off to college, and I was influenced by Mari Evans' poem "I Am a Black Woman," and that has pretty much shown up in all of my work since then. I do predominantly women. Probably the last 5 years, I have been focusing on also my healing, and so I've done a what I call emotional portraits, where the focus is the human heart, and it goes through that human process. My current series that I'm working on is also so I work on multiple things. I have ADHD, which is my superpower, and it allows me to work on like 4 or 5 different paintings at one time, which I love. Maybe not so much in other areas of life, but definitely creatively, it is a wonderful asset. My Curiouser and Curiouser series is a fairy tale series where I take fairy tales and put BIPOC participants, women, is the focus. And then I tell a story, a current story, as well as a historical story at the same time. So I'm also a former musician. I play flute, piccolo, and piano. So music is heavily influenced in my work. Sometimes, of course, when I'm working, I hear the music, but oftentimes when I finish, I will hear a song playing or a song will influence part of the work that I'm doing or something like that. So it was really a hard decision to stop being a musician and then doing my art full time because I used to write as well. But one thing I noticed was if I wanted to be really good at something, I would have to give up the other two because it required so much out of you. But I don't regret it. I still find ways to combine it, one way or another. And a lot of my friends are musicians, and so I love that as well. Um, I'm a mother of four, played sports, coached sports. My kids are grown. My oldest is 32, 31-year old. I have a 28-year old and a 26-year old. So, and 6 grandkids. So that's, I don't know. I couldn't get away from the art. And so one day I was like, yeah, not going to be teaching anymore. I'm going to have to do this full time because I realized I couldn't exist without it. I didn't feel complete. So that's what I did about 5 years ago, and I haven't looked back.
That's amazing. So it sounds like you create in multiple mediums.
Hmm.
Is there one medium specifically that you're most drawn to, or that you feel will be a key component of this creative partnership?
As of right now, which changes again, but the creative component really is mostly the painting. But I work in clay, so I have 2 studios. I have a clay studio at Broadway United Methodist Church, and then I have the painting studio at Wapahani Fine Arts Center. But it's weird because when I'm in one, I'm thinking of the other. When I'm in the other, I'm thinking about the other. So some days I'm just really, really drawn towards one. And then sometimes I'm working in one and want to be doing the other. And so it's just this weird ping pong game, I guess. But it's beautiful at the same time because it allows me to be free and not be feel like I have to be fenced in. So there it's I know that's kind of a roundabout way of answering the question, but right now I foresee like the paintings being the center focus. Like when I really think of music, it's my painting, it's the flow. When I am working on the wheel or working in clay, there are more conversations. So when I'm working in clay, clay literally saved my life in college. So when I am working in clay, there are conversations with God. And I feel like sometimes when you're talking to God, you're like, oh, this is such a beautiful sky, and da da da. And then you're like, oh my gosh, God, why am I going through this? Or then it's like, what me did it. So the work jumps around. It's like a conversation that you're having with a friend, your best friend or something. You're talking about one thing, then you're talking about another. And so that's really how that work looks. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily look like a cohesive body of work, but it is, because it's everyday life. So
That's really neat. So you mentioned a little bit how music inspires or art inspires you to listen to music. Do
mhm.
you, as you're creating, do you typically listen to music,
I
or
do.
okay, you do?
Yeah, I do. I have a playlist depending on my mood, and then sometimes I'll play. It's such an eclectic mix of music. Like if someone was just sitting there listening, like who in the heck is listening to this music? Because it's jumping around from thing to thing to thing. So it could be like show tunes to rap music to I don't know, punk. It just 80s, 70s. It just jumps around. It's like okay, I know this. I forewarn everyone, even when they're in class. I'm like, okay, this is gonna sound strange, but you could get anything with the music. But generally, people enjoy, the playlist that I create. My youngest son is a performer, and so I really got into show tunes, really dealing with him. But I talked to somebody from college not long ago. She's like, "You used to listen to show tunes all the time." I'm like, "I did. I don't even remember that." So, they all tell a story, and pretty much the work that I create tells stories, and so it makes sense regardless.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about our creative partnership, which I think is probably the most innovative thing that we've done, a little bit outside the box in terms of we've talked about visual art, we've had art in the lobby, but we've never intentionally set out to embark on something that includes visual art and music. So I'll have you start kind of chatting just a little bit about how you came to the table with this, and then we can kind of talk about how we're going to evolve this partnership throughout the season.
Okay, well, so my Curiouser and Curiouser series, it was created as an interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary type presentation where it had a music component, of course, the paintings as a visual component. It also included quilting, but it also included an immersive experience where there was a lot of plants and greenery and all that stuff. And my friend and I, Joshua Thompson, um, we came up with a soundtrack for that because when you look at the work, well, in my opinion, when you look at the work, music is tied into it, and the music gives it even more depth. Joshua and I, a few years ago, had done a talk in Newfields, and he put music to my Legacy series paintings, and he paired the music so well. And we were just sitting there talking one day, and just about how like music goes so well hand in hand with the things that I create because I think musically as well. Um, he said, I have an idea. It's like we should reach out and reach out to ICO and see if they would be interested in doing something like this because that's how he and I think naturally with the music and the visual arts at the same time too. So and so we reached out and you guys liked it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're always looking at new ways to be innovative, and multidisciplinary components when it comes to music, I think, are really engaging. Society today becomes more and more visual. So if
Mhm.
we can find ways to connect that visual component that we're so connected to because of the way
Mhm.
our society lives, and pair that with the experience of a live concert, in some way is really neat. Now, different from what you and Joshua did at Newfields, we have an existing kind of curation of season. Like
Mhm.
you know what our concerts are and what the music is, so you've been able to kind of listen to it
Yeah.
and learn a little bit about the themes. Obviously, we have concert names, but there's themes
Mhm.
within them. The first concert in October really being a Shakespearean connection of
Mhm.
storytelling, and then sort of a nod to America 250 and our Pulse concert in November. I say nod
Mhm.
because it's definitely the unconventional part of American composition. So, can you talk about maybe how you're selecting pieces to accompany the season in terms of if your experience is concert, this is art that would be connected to it musically or
Mhm.
artistically.
Mhm. Generally what I like to do, what I have been kind of doing is, first I read the title of the concert that's going to, and then see what images pop up in my head as far as the pieces that I already have. And then I listen to that genre to see if, something else triggers it. But sometimes just reading the title of the concert has given me a visual image of what I want. My goal is to create a piece by the end of the season, so it's just an original piece for that concert for ICO. Also, our my plan is that to be able to sell prints or sell pieces to your audience as well, and 10% of all the proceeds will go to ICO to help support their programming as well. So that's kind of the vision behind it. And I kind of think about, it's like, well, if I'm intrigued by this piece and how it connects, let's kind of create the story behind it too, and how and why it connects, and maybe other people will find that connection as well.
I love that. And I think the creative way that we can connect our two kind of art forms and your willingness to and have that philanthropic gift back to ICO, one, it introduces your audiences and your fans to our music, and then vice
Mhm.
versa, that our
Mhm.
audiences can connect with your art, and that we can kind of build some more community. I think that's a key component to what we do as an organization. We're very committed to finding ways to build community within Indianapolis, and I think having a local artist highlighted all season is going to be a really unique way that we do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
excited.
we are too. We are too. And I think as the season goes, audiences will be learning along with us as we kind of explore new ways that
Mhm.
we can make this partnership meaningful for the community and for each other.
Mhm.
Um, so I know we're kind of starting off like a little bit slower, and like you mentioned, kind of creating something specific at the end of the season. But there will be ways for audience members to purchase original pieces and prints
Mhm.
throughout the season, and we'll have information in our program book about the partnership, about your art, and yeah, we're just really excited about doing something I think quite different and innovative.
Mhm. I agree.
Yeah. So I guess my last maybe question for you is, have you already selected a specific collection that you're going to start with, or would you like to talk about any collection and we can kind of share some more examples of your art? Obviously, there's a piece right behind you. I don't know if you want to talk about
Yeah.
that one too, if that's an
Oh,
option.
that would so that piece right behind me, the lady was actually, so I used to have to always look at things to draw and paint and to figure it out. That's the first thing I was ever able to draw out of my head. I was a
Mm.
freshman in college, second semester freshman in college. So that would be 1992 when when I drew that, and you see all the tattered edges and stuff. It's made its way here. Um, and that just is kind of the inspiration for me sometimes, just to keep going. It's like, just, and I say, it's like, if I can think it, then I can do it. And that is a reminder for me that I
Mm.
can do that, just to keep me going, that inspiration.
I
So
love
this,
that. I
i'm
love it.
i'm in my studio now, and it's a little chaotic because I'm in transition, creating new pieces and stuff. But I know for me, I really envision the fairy tale series for a few of them. And then I also envision there's two of them, and I think it's the second one from the season that I envision one of my at least one of my healing heart pieces for that. I tell stories, but they're also surrealistic interpretations of
Mm-hmm.
pieces. So the sizes of different objects may be different, or things that wouldn't normally belong in a piece. It's there. So like even with my heart series, I have one called The Awakening, and it's made of completely flowers and a honeycomb and that sort of thing. And so the flowers are transitioning from black and white to color, and then water is pouring out of the one of the ventricles in the heart. So I really try to approach things in a different manner to kind of intrigue the audience. And even the fairy tale series, when I paint portraits within a painting, again, this has a central figure for that, but the figure is black and white and the story is in color. That way you almost get two portraits in one, and all the portraits are real people, real everyday people that either that I know or that I've seen. I say, hey, can I take a picture of you? Can I use you in the painting? And most of the times I say yes. I've only had one no over the years, but so we do that, and then the story, like I said, is told after that. So the Shakespearean one, I really see the fairy tale series in that, and so I'm actually finishing drawing that out and mapping that out for that one, and fingers crossed, it's in my opinion fit very well.
Mm.
um so that's, if that gives you an idea, that's
Yeah.
where my logic is behind all the pieces.
Well, I definitely trust your artistic connection. I mean, you know what connects because you made
Hmm.
it. it's,
Hmm. Hmm.
it is your creation and your vision. So I know our audiences will be excited to kind of foray into this as well, and I hope that they'll check out your website following this podcast and throughout the season as we find ways to connect art and music through this season 26-27, the theme being storylines, so very
Hmm.
much connected to the way that you use art to tell a story.
Hmm.
I believe all of our concerts have a through line within them, a story to
Yeah.
tell, and we hope that our community will continue to be a part of our story and experience collaborative art creation together.
Hmm.
So, our tickets are now on sale, single tickets, and of course subscription and packages as well. And you can learn more about the Indianapolis Chamber Orchestra at icomusic.org. And we'll have links and information to Tania's website and the collections that will be connected to each concert, as well as we approach the beginning of our season on October 17th. But of course, we have free concerts coming up later this month in August 27th and 28th at Riverside and Holiday Park. So look forward to seeing you in the community and look forward to this partnership. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.